to go. We got to get you guys out to Vegas at some point.
Oh
I know
yeah,
you were out here a little while ago, but I don't
yeah.
think I was in
Like
town.
what, February? Yeah,
Yeah.
February. So yeah, we'll definitely be back. I need a little break from Vegas for a couple months. Especially my girlfriend's like, "Why do you go to Vegas every 2 months?" I'm like, it was for work. There's only
Got
so
me.
many times you can say it's for work
Yeah, it's for work. Yeah.
before they start questioning.
Well, now that you guys are vlogging and stuff, I mean, there's the best excuse, right? Like
Oh
you can
yeah,
go pretty much anywhere. It's for work.
yeah. Oh, that's great. Yeah, dude. But yeah, I mean, honestly, like I've been seeing a lot of stuff from you recently, like especially like a lot of different stuff with that image gen stuff. Super
Dude.
cool shit. I was literally sending Chris like I've sent you like three of those probably. Like
Yeah,
cool
yeah.
stuff. You want to like talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, appreciate that. Yeah, it's fascinating. Like I feel like you know, 3 months ago or something, you try to generate an image or put a logo in there and have it try to generate something and it would, it's all fucked up. Now it's you can like one shot basically anything. And the use cases that people are coming out with, I started seeing them on Twitter and I was like, okay, it's so interesting to me, and it's interesting to like be able to kind of not cross post but like see what's already going viral on Twitter and then just make an Instagram carousel for that. And it's like a hack. Like you already know it's going to work because it's already getting a few thousand likes on Twitter. So I started doing that and saving hundreds of threads into my bookmarks on X. And a lot of them have gone pretty viral, comparably to some of my other content or videos that I've been posting in the past. And I'm really interested to get your guys' take on this as, more social media. Um, you guys are you're in the trenches, so to speak. Like videos and short form and reels obviously are still, I think, the preferred um, medium. However, with these carousels that are specifically about like threads of information or have multiple examples of these GPT-4o image generation examples or tutorials or whatever it may be, what I'm finding is people are finding the slide that represents or that they connect with the most, and that's the one that they're sharing with their friends rather than it being a short form reel where they have to wait 30 seconds into the video to find that value that they would have found to share. Like they can just scroll through and see it and then share it, and then it goes. So I started noticing that, and one of the first ones that I posted is just ripping. It's like it's got over, I think it's over like 10K likes now, which for my account is pretty good. Um, and so I was like, okay, well, let me just double down. Let me not think about this too much. I'm not trying to recreate the wheel. Just do the same thing over and over and over again. Sure enough, my account basically flipped on its head. For the last 2 years or so, uh, I've been just losing followers. And I think it's like partly natural attrition. Like when you guys and you guys probably see this too, like when you get to a certain level, there's just such a large audience of people that somebody might follow you for one reason, but then you post something else and like, oh, like, fuck these guys and unfollow. And for me, I think that's what was happening with my account because I wasn't being consistent enough. I was posting more kind of like random, not so oriented within this AI space or like AI news, so to speak. And now it's completely flipped where I'm now gaining followers again. It's the engagement is off, it's off the rails, and it's such great uh motivation to keep posting and be consistent. As we all know, like consistency is like the number one thing to make sure that your account keeps pumping. So yeah, it's very exciting, and it's all stuff that I'm interested in, and it sounds like you guys are also interested, and it sounds very familiar to the meme, that meme generation tool as well.
Yeah. I think what's really cool about what you did with it that I noticed right away was your slideshow is like you're using like TV show characters, movie characters, or video game characters everyone knows. So it's
Yep.
like you talk about like one of these slides relating to a specific person. It's like you got Harry Potter in there, you have The Office, like
Yep.
you can hit so many people like that. And also, it's kind of just like, it's like everyone's posting these stuff. It's like everyday people are interested in this kind of AI stuff. It's not like it's like you're coding an entire application. It's like
Exactly.
if you ever
It's accessible.
yeah, if you ever scroll through LinkedIn recently, it's been like everyone's posting like those like action figure like packed AI things. Like it's like
Yeah.
everyone's obsessed with it. My mom was like sending me this shit. She's like, "Look, I made
Same.
myself an action."
That's when you know. Like
I
that's
was
when
like,
you
"Wow,
know like it's going mainstream is like when your mom starts sending stuff to the family
yeah,
group chat like, "Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. My mom
yeah."
did the same thing."
I don't know. I feel it's just a kind of a just a converging of a lot of things at once because like it was like everyone just thought AI was like so like complex and like you can't do it, but now it's like you talk about these promptings and shit like that. Like even for us, like we don't really use AI that much, but in those
Yeah.
videos where you or those carousels when you lay it all out and you show the prompt on like how do you make this? Like it makes it super simple. Like anyone can do it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think this is one of those moments in history that we'll look back on that a mass majority of people in the world have their own AI aha moment and how it applies to what they are interested in or what their lives are doing. For example, like my mom now sends me texts. She's like, I know you know this, but ChatGPT is amazing. And I'm just like, welcome to the club. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, like now that you're seeing it, but it's all from her point of view of her use case, which like she's trying to like redesign the family home backyard right now. And I was like, all right, well, just take a photo of it, tell it what you want, and it will generate renders of like what you want. And then instead of, some hacky drawing that you're showing to the developer, you can show a high render image to the developer. Like, this is where my head's at. Now make sure that it's structurally sound, obviously. Like it won't be one to what the GPT image generates, but it's getting to the point where that back and forth that they would have had to do between a designer, a developer, and her as the client is now reduced to her just doing it kind of all herself, which not only saves everybody time and money, but it also makes the jobs easier for the developers because now they don't have to guess, or the designer be like, what do you think about this? Oh, well, I don't like that, so move that over here and change that, that pillar to be right there or whatever. Like, you can just do it yourself. And I think extrapolating that out to the majority of people that are starting to use these things, like that's the genesis of what this technology is for: saving time, saving money.
Yeah, to that point, I guess my aha moment and something I used was like, I saw somebody post about creating your grocery list with
Hmm.
ChatGPT's help. And it's like, give it a budget, the style of food you like to eat, and ask for a meal plan. And I was able to like plug in, okay, I want breakfast, lunch, and dinner on these days, but no dinner on this day, and no breakfast on this day, and nothing on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
And I have this much money, and I'm shopping at this grocery store.
There you
And I
go.
like American and Italian and Mexican food, and like go. And then it just fucking wrote everything and to a T, and then all
Yep.
your ingredients. And then also you have a meal plan and instructions on how to cook all these meals as well. And it was
Yep.
like snap of a finger. Because I would be bad. Like I go to the grocery store with no plan in mind, and I just start buying a bunch of random
Yeah,
shit.
and you end up walking out with a dozen donuts and a case of beer instead of dinner.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not eating dinner tonight, but
Pizza rolls.
yeah,
Dude,
but
I feel that. It's interesting too because I think that's where a lot of these like newer niched down AI apps are finding a lot of success is in examples or use cases like that. Like, are you guys familiar with the Cal AI app? So, a young guy basically made an app where like you take photos of your food and then it generates like, oh, this is how many calories and like the macros that
Oh
you've
shit.
that you've and they're at like I want to say like 2 million MRR. Like it's insane how quickly they've scaled, combined with simple functionality of like what you just said, Chris, but then also combined with the virality aspect of basically like, the fitness niche or people that are working on cooking, or like there's so many angles that you could take that rather than something that, like, for example, like Stammer, which is not as simple or niche down to like one specific use case or thing. And that's something that I'm trying to figure out a lot, and I like to see that you guys are doing that with like the meme software,
Yeah.
um because it aligns with your brand like fucking perfectly.
Yeah. And it's funny like when I was Like I was just kind of shooting the shit, just asking like, how do you even like do this stuff? Like all these like you get all these features updated every single like week. Like how are you doing this? He's like, I don't even write any code anymore. Like like I haven't written a line of code
Yeah.
in like months. I just kind of like just tell it to do things. I'm like, that's really like so hard to like wrap your head around that if you when you just don't understand how like
Yeah.
coding works.
Exactly. Yeah, I've been doing it from the point. So I'm engineering adjacent. I would like to say, like, I'm not the one that's actually programming any of the infrastructure because I don't know a lot of things, but I know how UI and UX should be utilized by a customer. Like that's one of my skills is being able to understand like how people would approach this type of software and use it not only for themselves, but then of course reselling it to others. So what I've started doing is I started taking like screenshots of our existing application, putting that into Lovable or Cursor. I like Lovable a lot more right now. And I can, just like you said, prompt it. I can prompt new features into existence with English. And then instead of me doing it in something like Figma or Canva, like mocking something up, and it's very similar to that the design example from my mom. I can have a live demo or a live mockup that has a functional UX that I can then provide to my engineering team that has like essentially pixel perfect functionality to what's in my head. Instead of telling them like, oh, I want X, Y, or Z, I'm like, here's a link, build that.
That's so cool. Yeah, I've used Cursor before, just like mess around. Like we were like making some skits where I'm making like a service where it was like what was it? It was like called like Booze Cruise. It was like drunk driving for Waze. It was like it was a complete joke, but I just like wanted to have like this on the screen, like a sharing my screen. It's like a simple landing page with like a Google map, and it's like yeah, dude, it was hilarious how it was super easy. It only took me like 15 seconds. I watched a YouTube video and it taught me how to do it.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah,
Like
so nuts.
that was probably something that you never thought would be possible, right?
Really, dude, I was like, I don't know who to show this, but I'm like mind blown. I was like pointing to my girlfriend, like, look at this, and she's
Yeah.
like,
Oh.
what are you doing?
Exactly.
Like, why don't
It
you do
is
something
crazy.
useful with it then? And I'm like,
It's crazy because like when you say that, like think about like you never would have thought it'd be possible. Like Gavin and I, one of the first things we did together was design websites for people, and it's
Hmm.
like you you know go back a year, a couple years and go like if we started now in that sense with that like mentality, we would have just saved us a whole lot of time and trouble. That's probably also like part of the reason like we left that area and now we're seeing like thank God we did because it's like how easy it is to do something so simple now. Like Gavin said, he can make a landing page in 15 minutes, and just
Hmm.
prompt it. The prompts are crazy.
Yeah.
Um, it is insane.
And I think that's an interesting point because I think one of the things that I'm seeing or hearing from agencies that are still in that space is that, and it's very similar to like in the past when like business owners care about their business. They don't care about how to build a website the best way or how do I embed an AI chat. They just want to know that it works and that it's there. So instead of, like you just said, instead of you having to sit down and manually, drag and drop features or heaven forbid, you have to code a website, now you can use prompting as that differentiator of service because the business owner is not going to want to know or figure out how to prompt it in the right way. And I think eventually that will come around to where I can just be like, make website good and it will just do it. But until like that's still a pretty far way off because you still have to kind of know how to prompt and what to say and kind of how to say it essentially.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. There's still those times when you ask ChatGPT a question and you want something kind of specific or obscure, but you don't know exactly how to ask it, and it gives you something like close to what you want, but not exactly what you're looking for.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Yeah.
AI Riz or whatever they want to call
Dude,
it.
some of those things are blowing my mind. Like we
Yeah.
we made a RIS like template for Stammer and started giving that out to people. But some of the other most interesting ones have been like now that now that it has unlimited memory, ChatGPT has unlimited memory, and it knows like all your past conversations. You can tell it things like, "Oh, roast the shit out of me and find, all my shortcomings," or, based on all past conversations, what are the top 5 blind spots in my life? And it's scary good at how well it comes up with items to basically like psychoanalyze you and give you real life feedback in a way that could most commonly only come from like a $200 an hour therapist. Now it's
Literally,
$20 a month.
yeah. Was that in your post I saw where it was like you explained that in the first few slides, then it was like do a CIA like deep dive
Yeah.
on me or some shit. It's like
Yeah.
it's
Create
crazy.
an
You're right.
intelligence dossier on me based on
Yeah,
everything you know. It's like, oh my God, dude.
yeah.
Like
They
And
know more
also
about you than you do yourself.
where are
also
we going
like
with this?
I mean, you don't even know if a therapist would be that brutally honest, dude. You know, it's like
Yeah. And would you even want to hear that from a
no,
therapist?
yeah,
Like, I think the fact that it comes from a faceless, nameless thing that you can be like, who doesn't have feedback or doesn't like a sigh before answering, like that entire, like we are running towards that movie, Her. Have you guys seen that movie
yeah, yeah.
with Joaquin Phoenix? Like it was like a joke when that movie came out. Like, oh yeah, everyone, but like that's literally what it's going to be in the next, if not years, months.
Oh yeah,
It
oh
is
yeah.
moving in a
There's already
crazy
those
pace.
AI. I'm already seeing people like creating like AI girlfriends and like AI OnlyFans. Like there's literally
Hmm.
like I saw a few memes about it, but I saw the memes were like a funnel to like an agency, like a guy who's teaching a course where he teaches you how to create an AI girl and make money off it. And I was like, God, like I usually respect the hustle. And I'm just like, dude, this is maybe this is skating the line, maybe past it, honestly. But
How many levels of brain rot can you add on top of
yeah,
one offer?
yeah.
Like
I'm just like,
course AI
dude,
girlfriend. Oh my God,
it's
OnlyFans,
crazy. This dude
Jesus.
had like 30K followers. The video I saw had like 1 million or 2 million views. Like it's stuff like people are actually probably signing up for this, which is absurd.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, I remember when OnlyFans got popped off and people started running like OnlyFan agencies and like helping, girls get their messages. And now there's entire apps that are dedicated to using AI to now handle all of those messages and all those responses. There's even another, like, I think a competitor that launched that is specifically for AI generated avatars of women. And it's like, I mean, like, social like interaction is dead. Like it's gonna be, yeah.
If
But I
it's
also
not
think that's,
dead now,
what's
Even
that?
if
remember
it's
those,
not dead now, it will be very soon.
Yeah, 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 exactly.
dude.
But I think that's one of the reasons why I'm like tripling down on my personal brand. I'm trying to only like show my face or my like, my stuff basically, because I know my theory is that as I've seen this with other creators and I don't agree with it, where they changed their personal brand from their name to be something like AI uh information or whatever. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like that, like how do you not see it becoming where if everybody can do that, what's the differentiator? It's actually it's going the other way.
100%. Yeah, it's like that's kind of like what even just like I know you as like the AI guy. When I see AI shit, I'm like, oh, I wonder what Ross thinks about this. You know,
Yeah.
what I mean? It's like, yeah, I think it's so much your personal. That's something that we're like realizing now, and what we're trying to do is like we had this corporate dudes thing as a faceless page for the longest time, and
Hmm.
now started putting our face into it a little more. And now on the outside, we're trying to have like like our LinkedIn, like our Twitter with our personal brand, and like our
Yep.
other pages with our personal brand. Because you see all this AI stuff, it's kind of scary when you're a business and you're a brand because you're like this could just be like one day completely like we have a lot of memes now are pretty funny, but it's in a couple of years like you can make those in the snap of a finger probably. So
Yep.
the only thing
Well,
you're not be able to replace is like your face, like and your like personality to it to an
exactly.
extent.
And remember, that's when I first reached out to you guys, was when you posted those videos of yourselves being like, "Oh, this is what we're doing. This is how we do it." And I was like, "Oh, now now I'm actually more interested. Like, yes, the content that you had been posting before was really good and hilarious and engaging, but like the second that you showed your face, I was like, oh, these are real people that I could probably connect with. And then we hit it off, and it was just like, oh yeah, these are the homies. Like, I don't need to think that these are, a group of teenagers in India that are just running this account.
That was like greatest decision we made because that was like where, that's kind of what opened up that bottleneck that we were facing. Like we like that was right when we quit our corporate jobs. We're like, all right, it doesn't matter our face on it anymore. So we were like trying to hide this from our jobs,
Yep.
our bosses and stuff. So we were like, fuck it, we're just gonna go all in. I don't care.
Send
Our
it.
digital footprint is cooked, so it better work out.
No, it is true, like you're saying, Ross. I mean, in the future, the biggest thing the most valuable thing that you can have is going to be an influence, and if your face is on it, nobody can ever take that away from you. Obviously, unless Instagram gets deleted, but the goal would be to grow as big as possible across multifaceted,
Hmm.
platforms. That if one goes down, you're still alive somewhere else, or just have that influence. It's what Gavin and I talk about all the time. Just like the more influence you have, the safer you're off as this AI, gets more involved.
Yeah. Are you guys collecting emails or building a list outside of social platforms at all?
Yeah, we're like it was something we did for a little bit. And we got a decent amount, but it was in a completely different niche. Like it was all about
Ah,
like finding remote jobs. That was back when we were just a meme page, and now we're really all in on like the social like humor based content stuff and helping brands be funny. So we're collecting emails around like we're gonna like give like social media tips on like how to make your brand funny and
yep.
like add some flavor to it. And right now we're kind of just offering like weekly like meme templates and stuff like that, and like a trend that you should maybe try out. Like we're gonna expand it more, but we're trying to do something we know we can do, and we know it's not like too long. And everyone's like, all right, we don't want to get our emails like flooded with this, but
Yeah.
that's probably that's our biggest move now. I wish we were keeping that up for this entire time, but better late than never. That's
Yeah.
definitely what Chris said about having a following. That's really nice. Like the connections you have, the amount of people we know in like so many different industries, like you and AI. We know people who are like accountants, finance, lawyers. Like we feel like we're in the know about things. Like they like talk about it, and if it's something interesting enough, when I have a question, I can DM someone, and they'll happily like explain it to me. Like vice
Hmm.
versa, we'll happily explain whatever we can and give our
Yeah.
take on it. So it's like we feel like we do just being in the creator space. You just know things before they like really are known by everyone, I guess.
It's interesting. I'm sure you guys are seeing this, how like quote unquote small the creator community actually is.
Oh yeah,
Like, there are, of course, millions of accounts, but it's like once you start engaging with certain people and certain accounts, like everybody's following each other. Everyone's kind of engaging and talking about the same stuff ish. At least obviously in the AI space, where it's like there are the top 5 creators or top 10 creators of AI news or anything like that, and everybody's following each other. Everybody's talking about the same thing. Everyone's getting invited to the same events.
yeah,
Like, yeah, it's an interesting community that I'm stoked to be a part of, because it's like you said, it's just so interesting to
yeah.
learn more
Especially
about
talk
it.
about like niches. Like you really think about it, you're like, oh yeah, there's like 5 big people per each niche, give or take. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously there's big ones like sports where there's like a lot more. But even like the corporate like work niche, we're very we know the people that we're in a sense competing with, but you're not even really because it's like there's literally so many people you can reach on social media. It has never really been an issue. I feel like never looked at it as kind of like a competition kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. The pie is so big. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
big enough for everybody, for sure. Yeah. Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah. So what do you have you guys used the back to the GPT-4o model stuff, now that it can do like text and all that stuff? Have you used it to one shot memes at all?
No, I mean besides the when those Gilby memes were around the Gilby
Yeah.
stuff, like we did a few of those just cuz they're like popping off. But no, we haven't done any. We want to honestly, and the thing is, dude, we don't even have a GPT like premium thing, and we definitely need to get one of those just so we can do it. But I mean, I don't know. We use that meme software platform. It doesn't have the GPT like integration yet for that, so we can do some AI stuff with it. But yeah, I mean, we want to try it out because that's just like we need to kind of add more tools to the bag, anyway. So
What does Jason have on there? He has the Grok face swap thing, right?
yeah, it's face swapping and stuff like that. But I don't think GPT is not integrated into it. Do you think
Yeah, the
ChatGPT is like the best, like when it comes to AI? Like just, or do you kind of have like this one's good for that, this one's good for this?
I mean, I want to say that I have multiple, but as my personal use cases have been consolidated mostly to ChatGPT.
Yeah,
And like for example, Google came out with their new video text to video model VO2 yesterday or the day before. It's pretty terrible.
yeah,
Like, and that's their latest state of the art model. Comparing that to GPT, I will also Kling AI, KLING AI. That one is very good. And like that one, you can put in images and then have it generate a video based off of an image. And I've made a couple tutorials on that one. I'm a paying customer of that one. Um, but it's still you still have to generate the initial image. So typically I'll go with ChatGPT. Sometimes I still use Midjourney for certain things that are like
yeah.
I'm looking for like a 4K resolution of an image rather than having it be generated in GPT and then upscaling it in like Canva or something. But GPT gets me it gets me by with everything that I need to really do. Like for example, the other day I was designing some new merch for Stammer. So I was searching through like vintage trucker hats or vintage beer hats to try to just find like interesting logos or designs, thinking that I could just recreate it with with GPT-4 Stammer. And I mean, not really to my surprise, because I kind of expected it to work this way. It was able to take those designs that I like screenshot or took from a picture of a hat and then just quickly was like, okay, well, yeah, just redesign this, but have it say Stammer, make it a black and white logo with a background so that way I could upload it to Printful. And sure enough, like within a few minutes, I had two new designs that I think are pretty sick. And it was nothing like I could have designed myself in the past. Like the one I had, the main like merch and hats that we have right now, like I designed those in a traditional way with Canva, and I'm like, well, now I'm never gonna do that again because I
Yeah.
don't have to.
No, that's crazy. That's really like making me think about we need to be using that like for so much more shit. Like, dude, we waste so much time spending in like Canva, CapCut, like getting things to look perfect,
Yep.
and it's like we know there's easier ways to do it, and we're just not doing it. So
Yeah.
it's like,
Well, I feel like you guys could crush on merch too, like the inside jokes or like something that's even just like text on a hat.
yeah,
Like I don't have any ideas off the top of my head, but I feel like there's so many memes that you could like work off of that would work in your niche. And
yeah. I think now that with more like face to the brand and stuff and like faces in it, like it's in a weird way probably it's more trustful to buy like
oh,
a thing from us. So remember we tried to make some merch back when
100%.
we're just faceless, and we didn't really push that much because I threw up a couple stories and I was like I could just tell right off the bat that I'm like, all right, no one's taking this like seriously whatsoever, and maybe the design just sucked too, so we have really no idea. But I think it's definitely something worth trying out. It's always something we want to do. I think we make some like funny like Friday beer shirts or something like that.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. And
Those
now
are
that you can use GPT to generate all those assets, drop them right into a Printful window, and then you have print on demand just running for you in the background. Your startup cost for that would be like almost nothing. Like it would
yeah,
be like $30 if you're trying to run it off a Shopify store.
yeah. It's absurd. Yeah, it's crazy how like people will always ask like, oh, like you probably spend so much money like on like your upfront costs for like your business. I'm like, what do you mean? Like my phone and like and like Canva premium? Like I don't even know what what you think like everyone has to spend thousands of dollars every month to like keep a business live, you know? Like it's not like we own a software or anything like that, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, maybe they're coming at it from a point of view of like, oh, you have to pay an editor, you pay the designer, and things like
Yeah.
that. Like that's one thing I'm trying. And I saw you did a post about Opus Clip. I've tried Opus several times over the last 8 to 12 months or so, and it still cannot do like what my other editors could do.
No, yeah, we kind of did the same thing. We put it up and just the clips like aren't like it says a viral score and I'm like this would tank. Like this
Yeah.
it's like it gets like the weird middle part of a conversation. It's like no start, no end. I'm like, what is even going on right now?
Yeah. Yeah, and you guys know, you guys can see it instantly, and that's
Yeah.
what I've seen in the past where I'm like, it's going to take more time to re-edit and recut than it would if I just gave the raw content to the editor in the first place.
Oh yeah. In my opinion, Opus Clip is literally good for just clipping up Mr. Beast content and fucking posting it on TikTok.
Yeah,
It's the only thing it can understand is Mr. Beast content. It's like their entire thing.
that's interesting. Have you guys done any research on the whole clipping like ecosystem at all?
We've never done it, but I mean, I've looked into it in the past. Like this is not anytime recently, but
Yeah.
I just know that. I guess it really depends on who you know too, because a lot of those kids, like if you just clip for like the YouTube money or the TikTok money, it could be a lot harder. But some of these guys that are pulling views will get paid by the creators,
Mm-hmm.
like
Yeah, the WAP.
plus
I was gonna
like
say, are you guys familiar with WAP? Yeah.
Yeah.
so.
So interesting of a business model.
Oh yeah, it's crazy. I saw some with Drewski like dropped it, paying like 300 per million views and got like 14K people like in his like WAP in like a day. Like it's absurd.
Yep.
Yeah, it is cool. I mean, that'd be something like down the road. Like we would want to do something like that. Pay people to like
Clip up these podcasts
like
for
this
us.
podcast from our YouTube video and stuff like that. Like at a smaller margin than Drewski probably would, but you know, something like that'd be cool because obviously we wouldn't get as many people coming to us to do that as Drewski's either. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I was looking into that as well because I like my other podcast that I've been doing, Agency to SaaS, shameless plug, has been like pretty consistent in filming, but it's not like as clippable or entertaining as something like Drewski, where it makes a lot of sense to have a lot of people try to clip that up because literally I think everything that he does is hilarious and there's so many opportunities to clip with a 30 or 45-minute episode where he's doing those audition shows things like which are hilarious.
Yeah, they're so funny. Even my dad watches those things. They're so
Really?
funny. He's like, "Did you see this before?" I'm like, "Yeah, I've seen Drewski before, Dad. Why have you? How do you know who he is?" Yeah,
That's hilarious.
What is that? Is that your YouTube channel then?
Yeah, I've been posting on my YouTube channel. Yes, I do it with one of my past business colleagues who actually he sold his agency recently.
Wow.
And he's basically saw everything that I was doing with Stammer in the software space and how comparably, like when you sell your agency business, the multiple that you can get on that business is far lower than what you could get with a software business because of various reasons. And it's very much about like the key man clause, so to speak. Like if you are the agency owner and operator, and if you leave that business, how is that business going to survive without you? And if the answer to that is it doesn't, then you don't like the value that that business has or could generate is almost nothing because it's just their attention of those clients, which, as we know, clients are so fickle and I'll be here 1 month, but then I cancel the next month. Vice versa, when you talk about software where you're creating intellectual property, IP that can be transferred and sold to where I am not needed for the business to run. And that was one of the most difficult things for me to get, like, as we originally got started, was how do I make my top of funnel not reliant on me posting content every day? Because not only would that get me to be burning out every week, but it's also just like not a good business model. Like having anything rely on one person or one funnel. So our whole conversation, or our whole podcast and our conversations are very much about how we take what we've learned from the agency world and are applying those strategies to growing a software business that can be sold for a multiple, 5, 10, 15x on revenue rather than like a 1x on revenue.
Yeah.
And
No, that's interesting. Because
when you think about it like that, it's like, what would you rather spend the next 3, 5, 10 years of your life on? Something that could sell for 1x or something that could sell for 10x?
yeah.
Obviously 10x.
Yeah. Especially with the trickle down of like, you got all these people signing on, they refer people to it. It just kind of goes on and on. It's like, yeah, it is interesting because it's something we know it's on our horizon to get something like that, dude. It's something we need to.
Yeah. Well,
It's
remember that was one of the first things that we talked about. And I asked, I was like, so when are you guys going to start working on your own software product? And then you like kind of linked up with the meme guy, this meme software. I was like, oh, is that what you created? Because to me, that was like, oh, that's it. Like that would be the thing for you to create or generate. But that being said, I think they're like, just like the audience size of social media, like there's enough to go around. Like I know that there's a lot of other AI influencers that are creating very similar products to Stammer, but I don't care because I know that there's so much opportunity out there that everybody can win. I don't need to be, Zuck and just, shut everybody else down.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's just like, it's funny you put that perspective that it's like, obviously we're young now, like we have no problem working like almost every hour of the day, like when we're awake on this social media stuff because we love it and it's like really fun right now. But will this be like fun when we're 30? Like probably not. So it's like we're walking like making skits every day when we're like have children and shit. Like probably not. So it's
well, now you're making me look bad. God damn it.
So now I'm like, it is something we talk about, we think about. It's like, it's just we're gonna need to have one of those one day, like either that or be very like in bed with someone who is with one of these kind of products. So yeah, somewhere we talk about it like almost every day. It's just something like when we need to kind of pull the trigger on.
Yeah. Well, I'm 31 and I can tell you I still enjoy doing it because for me, I've never worked a normal job before. I've always done my own thing in some aspect. So I don't really have like a comparison to it. So to me, like my like life is just this, like working on something that I want to work on. And I find that like so many people, so many of my friends that I talk to, like hate their lives, hate their jobs, like hate the position that they're in because maybe it's not even like a high paying, or maybe it's not even like a low paying job. They're in a high paying corporate job and now they have kind of like golden handcuffs because how could you leave a multi six figure job to go start your own thing where you're going to work more for less money and more stress? And it's like, well, if you can't stomach that, like that path is not for you. And it's obviously not for everybody, but the fulfillment that I see that people have when they make that change, even on top of those three things, is life changing for these people. So I'm glad to hear that you guys already kind of made that shift, like, get out of the matrix type shit. Yes. But like, that's it. Like, if you're not doing that, like, what the fuck are you doing with your life?
I don't think I would have fun, like, doing anything else, honestly. Like, it's,
we only have the one life. So like, why not try to send it, like.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, we've always talked about it. Obviously we made it to where we are now, but it was always that same thing, like, or, anything you do for someone else, you do for yourself. In that sense too, it's like, wow, why would you go and work for someone else when you could just, or stress for another company or spend those long hours for another company when you could do it for yourself? Because I know Gavin and I definitely talk about it all the time. Like when we have a long day or maybe a shitty week, it's like I'd rather have the shitty week for myself than for somebody else.
Exactly.
It's not always going to be beautiful. Like you said, long hours might not get paid as much, but then I'd rather do that for myself than for someone else. And obviously, if you stay consistent, things work out, and
Yeah. Yeah.
that's the
And it's
beauty of
tough because the grass is always greener. We're always comparing ourselves to other people that are at the next level.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I've realized, and I was actually having a conversation with a buddy about this last night, like even where we are all trying to get to the next level in our own realms, we are succeeding right now compared to the people that are in those jobs looking at us being like, "Oh, I wish I could do that or do my own thing." So it's like one of those retrospective things where you're like, "Oh, we are already doing it. Like we're already succeeding. Yes, we want to get higher to the next level, but like we can, it's like one of the, you can take a moment and be like, oh yeah, we've already made it. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, when you put it that way, it is true. Yeah.
Yeah. I
right?
remember when we started this, we're like, our whole goal is like just to quit our jobs and make 10K a month. That's like the whole Instagram, like
Yep.
everyone teaches that's the number right there. And then you get there and you're like, all right, now I want 20K a month. Now I want to build this. Now I want to have this. It's not it comes like not even a money thing anymore. It's like I want to have this. I want this to be like a thing. I want this to be my
Mm-hmm.
life. And it's like it's crazy. Like if like even like a year ago today, like thinking about like how much changes. It's like absurd. Like it's so much changing every single day. Like in this space, it's just like I think I'd be bored if I was working like my corporate job still. I'd be bored as hell. Like it's just not exciting. It doesn't really like do it for you.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you guys feel that like, um, fuck, I just lost my train of thought. I just lost it. Shit.
That's all good. That's a great clip right there. First pod went great. Everyone
Yeah,
just
if this clip would miss it.
yeah. I don't
That
have it.
happens kind of a lot to me where I'm like, my brain's going in 50 different directions and I'm like, ugh,
Oh yeah.
just
Yeah,
lose it.
especially. I mean, when you talk about when you're working this, is there someone you're like you're co-founding with, like you're like on calls every day with? Like I'm really wondering what it's like really owning a software. Like what do you have to like focus on every day? What are the stuff you have to like do in order for this thing to like kind of keep moving? I know you said like whole point of the software thing is the business runs like without you like manually having to do things like necessarily, but I mean I know you're a busy guy. You're doing shit all day long. Like what are you doing that's like you
Yeah.
know improving the business every day?
Yeah. So my focus right now is product on one hand and marketing on the other side.
Yeah.
So product is focused on basically getting feedback from customers and engaging with the engineering team within relation to that feedback that we're getting. One of the best pieces of advice comes from Brian Chesky, CEO of Airbnb, and a lot of people have started using this saying, which is do things that don't scale. And what he means by that is literally do things that at scale will not physically work. And so one of the implementations of that saying that we've implemented in our own business is me and my co-founder are doing daily support calls with our customers. We have a open Zoom every Monday through Friday at 11:30 a.m. Anybody can join and hop in there and ask questions. And what we found is not only is it so extremely valuable for our customers to know that they have that outlet and that they can talk to us and not just some support person, but we are now finding it even more valuable because we can find issues or solve these questions that people have, and the feedback loop went from like this big and it's like now down here. It's so like it's such a tight feedback loop where instead of someone going and like, oh, I need to submit a support ticket, and then the support team is like, well, can you provide us with this information because we don't really know what you're asking? Or it's like back and forth where, okay, well, now it's been a week and nothing's solved. These support calls are like, all right, show us your screen, show us the problem, let me take a screenshot or record it. And now we know exactly how to solve that issue with the product. I can type something up really quick or make a mock-up in Lovable that solves that problem, hand it off to the engineering team within an hour. And then within the next week, we have an update that goes out that solves that problem. And it sounds very, very familiar to the other guy that you're mentioning, where it's like, yeah, we're just using AI to now solve these problems faster, get these things out into production as quickly as we can, and then just iterate on that. And we did that originally with our first 50 customers or so, where we would get on one-on-one calls with our customers and just be like, tell us how you're using this platform, or show us the issues that you're having. And that provided us with such early feedback that made the platform work in the way that our customers intend it to work. So like when you think about how you use a platform and you think about like Canva, for example, or I mean, really any software, like there are certain things that you would expect to be where they are or how they work. Like when I click this, user icon, I would expect to see my profile settings or being able to know that the billing section is right there. A lot of that stuff is now just known by customers. So the way that they expect things to work is I expect it to click that way and it worked that way. When you're so deep in a product, sometimes you forget that or forget how that's being done in real world use cases. So for us, getting that feedback is so extremely important. And then on the other hand is marketing, where I'm now trying to leverage this AI news and stuff that is adjacent to our product. I don't want to focus and create marketing content that's a hard sell on people. So like I always say, like if this is my core product and service, I'm trying to make content that is around that core product and service, because the likelihood that somebody is interested in AI news and that they're also interested in reselling AI is probably a high percentage. So instead of trying to focus on like salesy content, I'm now trying to focus on non-salesy content, which definitely aligns with what we were originally talking about like how do we use memes to engage people, to then have them enter the funnel in some way, collect their information, and then down the funnel, sell them up the ladder.
No, yeah, I always think like when you're talking about content, it's either got to be like educational or like entertaining, and it's like the best are both,
And
but
if you
like
do both,
you know
exactly,
what I
that's
mean,
the
best are
holy
both,
grail.
but like you need to have it be like educational or entertaining, or just like it's not going to resonate about it. And I mean, it's something like we're trying to get into the more educational side because we've been like just all comedy, all this, all that, which we love, but we want to like be able to mix both. Like you
Mhm.
seem like you're already doing like a pretty solid job of that, and like I mean, you just know how to turn your content into money, which is like a really cool skill. Which is something where like yeah, we get a few clients and stuff like that, but like it's not like every single piece of content we're putting out every day is making us money per se. It's more just like kind of like solidifying our brand, which is still good. But yeah, it's something like we're really trying to learn more just about the whole like monetization of content because we know we could be doing a lot more.
Yeah. Are you guys using the comment slash DM strategy at all?
Yeah, I the many chat you're saying.
That's one option. I
Yeah.
don't personally use ManyChat because it's fucking expensive as shit.
Oh yeah. What do you use? Which one?
I mean I'm still a go high level guy, so I use GHL because now they basically rebuilt it, and the benefit is they don't charge you per message. Like ManyChat, if you go over like 10,000 messages, your price doubles.
Wow.
With GHL, they don't care like how many people that you're messaging. Like it's just included in the infrastructure cost.
And
And
you
I've
you
noticed that
split
other
both.
competitors that have popped up against ManyChat are in the same billing like the same structure. I'm like, for someone like me or for someone like you guys that would have high throughput, do you really want to be paying like thousands of dollars per month to fucking send DMs? Like,
Yeah. No.
no way.
Definitely not.
And it just continues to go up. Like,
Yeah.
fuck no. So
Yeah.
I've been using GHL, and instead of doing, like I said, I'm no longer doing the hard sell or the hard opt-in. I'm now just putting a slide at the end of the carousels that is the call to action. And I think that is also helping the algorithm know that I'm not trying to do that and get people off platform. So
Yeah.
if people end up getting to that slide and then they comment on the post with the keyword, the automations then kick in and I send them the link to a Gumroad, which is a free value opt-in that allows me to collect their emails. And then once I get their email, that gets funneled into an email sequence, which 10 to 15 days, which then, FOMO, you're a broke loser, blah, like all this stuff. Here's how to make money with AI, all these things. And then it's like, that's where the hard sell kind of comes into play. And I've collected, tens of thousands of emails at this point where they're all interested in something related to that.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, that is one of the most valuable assets that I have, because I can just email that list with an offer and people will buy. It's insane.
Somebody on the list will buy.
I remember when you showed us your funnel, you share your screen, like the whole like whiteboard, and we were fucking like blown away. We were like, wow, it's like so like there's so much more, there's so much you can do with a funnel,
And I would highly recommend you guys start thinking about how you could add that to your service. So with GHL, obviously you could white label it under your own brand or your own agency, and then create these templates at scale to where you could then implement them to other businesses without that additional ManyChat cost, which a lot of people are expecting to be there. So if you're able to add that value where, hey, every single post that you post will generate action, like the value of that is almost unquantifiable, because you don't really know how many people will eventually convert through the funnel. But you know that for my account, I gauge roughly about 2% of viewers will opt in, which is
wow, that's a huge number.
Pretty decent. Yeah. I mean, in the aggregate for my account. So like, if you think about brands that have millions of followers or getting millions of engagements per month on their content, like that is tangible value and tangible money that they will be able to see in their bank account and in their email list.
Yeah. That's absurd. So if you're posting like once a day, 2% into your list, and then like, you know what I mean? Like that you count that up, that could be like 50 subscriptions a month, like just free content. You know what I mean? That's like, I don't know what your daily kind of or daily monthly numbers are, but like that sounds like pretty fucking
up and
sweet.
to the right now, because I've been consistent. So yeah. I think I'm at like 800 or 900K right now, but that's the upswing. Like in the past year, it was, probably 30K or 100K, but I've 10x'd it in a month just by being consistent. So like
100K in 1 month.
Yeah.
Yeah, those numbers are absurd to me. Obviously, like we want to get to a point like that, of course. But
well, you guys are probably doing way more than that, aren't you?
Are you saying views or how much you're pulling in a month?
Oh no, yeah, views. I'm on the content.
I was like, wait a minute, I was on the other side of that.
No.
I was thinking 100K people signing up to your software. I was like, what are you, a billionaire?
Oh no, yeah. Like, so yeah, 2% on 100K views would be 2,000 people.
Yeah,
that's a lot of people though. Yeah,
that's still very good. Yeah, no, dude, we've had months where between all of our, we've had like 200 mil like views.
Oh yeah.
Third.
Yeah. So the rates on that, I mean, you guys, your email list should be in the hundreds of thousands by now.
Yeah, no, we're just idiots.
Yeah. The other interesting thing is, so I use Gumroad for a lot of my free opt-ins, because a lot of people are familiar with that platform, and yes, it only requires you to enter your email, but if you already have a Gumroad account, it's just a one-click opt-in where you don't have to enter your email anymore.
Oh, wow.
The interesting thing is Gumroad allows you to not solicit, but it allows you to collect donations. So you can set something for free and then allow people to pay money if they want.
Yeah.
I've made thousands of dollars from donations.
Yeah. It's
on
like
free content.
That's absurd. It's like the pay what you think is fair thing, and you can choose 0.
Yeah.
That's so crazy.
I've never put in money ever in any of those. I'm a cheap fuck, but like, other people are not. Well, and in my brain, I'm like, who in their right mind is going to pay voluntarily for free information? Like, that seems dumb.
It's like tipping at your takeout place.
Exactly. People that get enough value from it will pay you money. And I mean, I've paid my rent from donations, which is crazy.
That's
Like,
absurd. Yeah.
and I can only imagine that at your guys' level for where you're at and the amount of people that you could generate for here's how to make meme content guide step 1, 2, 3. Like you put it out for free. Like, I mean, I would download that for free.
Yeah.
But I guarantee you other people would be like, oh, dollar here, $5, $10. Like it's crazy. I've had people give me hundreds of dollars for a free piece of content. What the
That's
fuck are you doing?
yeah. And then when you talk about your like your mailing list, you keep that all through Go High Level too.
Typically, yeah. Like Gumroad does have that functionality, but it's more kind of like one-offs or one shots rather than piping it into GHL where I can do a multi-day or like multi-sequence.
Yeah. Okay. So
Yeah,
yeah,
so
that's what I always thought. I thought Gumroad was kind of more like a beehive kind of like
kinda. Yeah.
like
Beehive is
well,
also another good option. I
yeah.
tried that for a little
That's the
while,
word,
but
beehive.
okay.
Just because it was easy, and I like how it's like just the one email box too, like
Yeah.
similar like. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's not like we're not plugging out emails every day. We're doing like a weekly one right now.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Is that your main initial offer is like the email newsletter?
yeah, the main initial offer is like we'll send you like weekly like trending meme templates before they're viral. Essentially, is our like that's our initial offer.
Got it.
That's like very fresh and very new as of like 2 weeks, 3 weeks maybe.
Okay.
Just something we're kind of testing out. But other ideas we have are like a meme guide, like setting up your meme page or something. But we were thinking like maybe there's people who already have social medias and not like full into memes, but they like just kind of want some templates and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess we could do both. Also, I don't know. It's not really stopping.
I would recommend sending people to the guide first and
Yeah.
then on the redirect, have them opt into Beehive. Because in that scenario, you've already got them on, like, you've already got their email from the free opt in,
Yeah.
which in my experience, lower barrier to entry where like the mentality is like, oh, am my email box gonna get flooded with fucking bullshit? Like rather than, oh, here's a Notion guide that I can just review real quick.
Okay. That's
That lowers that barrier, that mentality or that barrier to in my experience, like it's almost like a double the conversion rate. We're trying to we
what, you like Zapier it to redirect, or you can really just like you don't even need that.
Yeah, so like specifically with Gumroad, like you can have like you can have the data or the information available in like a text window. And so like the one I'm running right now, it just links to Notion. And then inside the Notion, I have upsells to other things or like other opportunities to opt in, whether it's a school community or, the Discord or even signing up for a free account. But it's such a higher opt-in rate than if I was to go direct to these other offers because that barrier is lower.
Okay.
So yeah, I would highly recommend trying that out.
Yeah, dude. I think we're gonna need to try that. That sounds
Does
awesome.
make sense. Like when you put it that way, it's laid out in black and white.
You're right, because I've literally I put my email in for I'm literally making me think about it. I put my email in for guys before on like clearly
Yeah,
like a Gumroad or so like a Substack or some shit, and just to get the guide. I don't want fucking emails every month either or every
that's it
week.
right there. That's
Yeah,
the mentality. Like,
and now like even though I do get the emails anyways, obviously,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
but
yeah,
like yeah, no, this is really smart because like I don't think I need to weekly content from someone necessarily. That's like my friend maybe, but
yeah,
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 that like the weekly newsletter thing too, when you really break it down, like it is very, very niche.
mm-hmm.
Like what we are doing is super niche. You either have to be like especially if it's like more templated, for somebody to go take and create with, like they have to actively be creating content. So they either are one-offs that enjoy making memes for fun, or they like are working in marketing for a company and they're going to use that in some kind of scheme for they're running a social media page for a brand, something
Yeah,
like that. So when you do break it down, I guess that is makes it so much more niche too.
yeah. Try it
So like,
out.
yeah,
Like,
the average guy, like you don't need necessarily. I mean, maybe you want it, but like, would you sign up for just a template that you then have to take and or to know about to go create content necessarily? Like, you are a content creator, so maybe you're somebody that would fit that bill.
yeah, I think like I would consider ourselves to be outliers in that scenario, not the average consumer. However, I would still download that, but or opt in for that, but for another reason, because what I now look for is what are other people doing that I might have missed, and I want to. It's like I want to compare notes with you guys. Like that's where I now found a ton of value is because I'm not maybe even using that template, but I'm interested to see how you guys are approaching those templates,
Yeah.
which then might spark my own ideas to do my own, pivot it off or A/B test it my own way. So there is enough value there, I think, for even someone like myself or someone that's already doing memes because they'd be like, okay, well, I know what I'm talking about, but I'm also interested to see what these guys who also know what they're talking about are doing. Like
Too, yeah.
game recognizes game, and when you're in that realm, like why not? Like it's
Yeah.
it's all it's all there for everyone to take.
It's also free, yeah. Like, that's what's nice. But yeah, I guess like a guide isn't like just that barrier you're talking about too. If they download the guide, they're probably more likely to then move on in that sense.
100%.
So you
Yeah.
start to be like, I'm already falling. Fuck it.
Yeah, and it doesn't need to be like a heavy course or like this last one that we did. I got on a call with my buddy I think it was Thursday night or Friday night of last week. We spent maybe 30 minutes on it and we launched it, and by Saturday morning we had a dozen or so opt-ins, and that was from organic comments, me DMing them the link, them opting in, and then getting into the school community within a day. Like it doesn't need to be, tons of work.
Sweet.
That could be an interesting test for you guys. Just like, all right, let's sit down. By the time we finish these 3 beers, we're gonna have it launched.
Yeah. That's a good idea. Yeah. So you're running a school now too?
Starting it. So like I mentioned that we're doing these daily support calls. We're also doing every Thursday, we're doing these AI agency accelerator where we're not talking about how AI agents work. We're talking and trying to help people how agencies work because a lot of people are still new to business in general. So it's things like how do I acquire customers? How do I talk to customers? What's an email sequence? It's more of the kind of the core level of how to run a online business. And a lot of people are still very curious about how we are doing that, but also from my past experience of running an agency. So we started doing those meetings, and I was like, okay, we need a less degen way to run this, not in Discord. It needs to be in something that's more formalized like school.
Yeah.
So we were looking at WAP and school and some of these other ones, and we ended up just going with school because there's other communities that are on there that are related to what we're doing with AI. So we figured that if our customers, or if there's a lot of customers that could be our customers or there already, let's go where they're already there,
Yeah.
where they already are.
And more likely for them to sign up when they already have a base, like their base school account made.
Exactly. Yeah. And we found that like if we push people right to the school community, that barrier immediately is much higher because now they have to create a school account and do all this other bullshit just to get into the school. Whereas if it's just give me your email and I'll send you this guide, and then in the guide it says, "Oh, want more? Join the school." Like they're pre-sold on the school, so now they'll do that work to get that extra value or get that information.
Oh, that's just so helpful. We're definitely we're gonna do exactly what you just said. Have some beers figured out.
Hell yeah. There you go. Right on.
I guess I got one more thing for you. I know we're going a little over, but link in bio. This is something I'm always like I'm like manic about. I like change my link in bio every fucking week. I feel like, but I'm like so like I don't even know what the word is for it. Just like it needs to be perfect. What is your like link in bio strategy?
Interesting. In terms of what I'm putting on it or what
Yeah,
I'm
I
using or
guess
what?
like you told us a lot of things. You got Stammer, you got your school, you
Yeah.
got all these things. It's like what is like obviously there's only so many links you can put in, and I feel like if you have a bunch, it's like no one's gonna click any of them. Or if you have like a link tree, sometimes people are like, link tree doesn't load. You're like, ah, fuck, I'm leaving here completely. Like, how do you
Yeah.
like kind of battle with that?
Yeah, so I just built a simple landing page in GHL, so I use my own custom domain. I don't like using Linktree or fucking
Yeah.
beacons, any of that bullshit. Because I know what I want to put on there, which is here are my social profiles. If you're on Instagram, here's how to get to my TikTok, here's how to get to my Twitter, here's how to get to my YouTube or subscribe. And then it's very simple call to actions to the information that I'm currently talking about. So like for example, today I did a sponsored post with Hrefs, and part of that brand deal was to put Hrefs in my link in bio inside of my quote unquote link tree. Not the link, but it's inside of my link tree. So in that scenario, I can still promote my own business above Ahrefs, but I can satisfy the brand deal of Ahrefs by having them linked with the correct attribution and everything in that way. So, and I know you guys are working with some other companies, like I would approach it in probably a similar way where, okay, I'm not going to change my entire link in bio to your website because that's ridiculous, because of the amount of profile visits that you get on average per month is probably 10x what I'm getting. But that's static content, or that's a static link that gets affected by all content, not just the branded post. So having it in your link in bio gets a lot of action from everything else around that branded post, and might probably even more so than it would be if it was just that one video or that one post. So I keep
So
mine very, very simple.
is that something that you're like? So that was about this sponsored post, but say you had like when Thursday's coming up and you're doing your talk on school, or I don't know, say Monday or Tuesday where the other talk was. Um, are you changing the order of links as different things are happening? Like obviously the sponsored one will come and go, but are you just like you have your link to the school, link to Stammer, link to the other
Yeah.
the support group, stuff like that. I'm assuming are on there, but are you like moving that around, adding, dropping, like as you know, different things are more important or less important, or do you just kind of just leave it be?
I
And
kind of leave it be. Yeah. I try not to complicate it. So like for example, like I only have Stammer linked as the homepage because I know that that is where we get the most opt-ins from our attribution. So I don't necessarily need to post a support link that is in addition to the homepage link because I know that the people that are interested in the support link will find it through the website.
gotcha.
And from the way that our customers interact, which I've seen with my other agency, is like those quote unquote good customers will do that research themselves. The people that are looking for those links, the easy stuff, are not good customers. So why am I trying to optimize for someone that's going to waste my time and make me no money? Makes no sense.
It's
Yeah, I
like
guess if someone's serious about
want
it,
a little bit, I guess.
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. If they're serious, they will do the work
find it.
to find it. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's something like, yeah, I asked because I'm like, oh, we got so much shit going on now. We have like our other channels. We're making these sketches in pod. We have like this like partnership with like this meme software. So we have so much shit. And then our own agency website. I'm like, how the fuck do I? But I guess you're right. You don't need to
Organize
put
it.
all of it. If someone wants to find it, they can find it. I think it's already kind of set up like that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So like for this podcast, for example, just link your YouTube. You don't need to have another one that says, "Oh, here's our podcast." Like
yeah,
it's the
just
same
like
thing.
you.
Yeah, you put up a story that says, you know, this podcast, the link in bio or whatever, they go to the YouTube. They don't need a direct link. If they want to find it, they'll go to the YouTube and they'll find the video.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
I like it.
All right, guys. Well, this is great. I'm glad we could connect and chop it up a little bit.
Dude, yeah, I mean,
This
we
is
appreciate
awesome.
it, man. Definitely learned a lot. We're gonna cut this up and post it out, and then also like we got some cool clips too from it we can send over.
Hell yeah. Love it. Right on. Yeah, let's do it.
And if
Yeah,
we ever make it out, which I'm sure we will at some point, but we were talking about this earlier, if we ever get out west, I've never gone all the way west. We were just in Texas. That's about as far as I've gone now. If I make it to Vegas, we should do this, you know, in person and do round two.
Oh, hell yeah. And I'll show you some cool spots out here in Vegas. We'll have some fun. Go shoot some grenade launchers in the desert or something.
Oh hell
I
yeah!
love it. Let's go.
All right, guys, take care.
Yeah, it's been a
You,
pleasure.
uh,
Thank you.